Hey everybody, welcome to Daily Reflections with Chris. And I'm Chris, and this is the Daily Reflections with Chris. Sorry, for those of you who are new to my channel or this is your first time here, I am Chris, and I share my experience, strength, and hope with you guys as it pertains to my recovery from alcoholism. And I use this book right here, it's called Daily Reflections, as a guide, as a topic setter, as a topic maker, something to keep me a little bit kind of in line. So I'm not all over the place like I usually am. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, and every day there's a different entry. Today's March 7th, so I'm going to read March 7th. And it's titled, The Key is Willingness. Once we have placed the key of willingness in the lock and have the door ever so slightly open, we find that we can always open it some more. And that's out of the 12 and 12, page 35. The willingness to give up my pride and self-will to a power greater than myself has proved to be the only ingredient absolutely necessary to solve all of my problems today. Even the smallest amount of willingness, if sincere, is sufficient to allow God to enter and take control over any problem, pain, or obsession. My level of comfort is in direct relation to the degree of willingness I possess at any given moment to give up my self-will and allow God's will to be manifested in my life. With the key of willingness, my worries and fears are powerfully transformed into serenity. Wow. The willingness to give up my pride and self-will. I had a little small incident with that today, and I feel like I've been turning a new leaf right here in the last couple of days, and so I've been doing pretty good. I haven't really thought if I have pride or not, or if I'm being selfish or not. I'm just kind of doing life, and it hasn't been horrible, right? But today, so I live in a near small town, Dripping Springs, but I say I'm from Dripping Springs. I'm from San Antonio originally, right? But I say I live in Dripping Springs because that's where I work. That's where I do a lot of my business. That's where some of the closest people that I know live is in Dripping Springs, right? I hardly ever go to Austin proper, right? So today, I'm not at my regular job, right? I'm off today from that job. So I was doing a little side job and I was delivering some Slurpees, and I delivered to this customer that I just hate to say certain things about myself. And I delivered to this customer that in the past we had a little disagreement about where, just a disagreement about some, how I was doing my job. And she was not opposed to the way I did my job. She just asked me for a favor, and I was like, no, I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. Making all these reasons why I couldn't fulfill her wish. And today when I knew I was delivering to her, I thought, oh man, this lady, she's gonna want me to take it there, and man, she thinks, I started I went way left field, and I said, okay, why do you have so much pride around this? It's okay. You're in the service industry, man. You need, whether you be at your real job or this job, you're in the customer service industry. And why would you ruin her whole day just when you can physically just take it to her? Why would you ruin her whole entire day, Chris? And so then that thought came to my mind, and then I got busy with something else, right? My thoughts got busy with something else, and I remember pulling up to her location and be like, oh, let me text this lady and see where she wants it. Without even giving second thought, I was just like, okay, let me just text her where she wants it. And at the same time, she was waving at me, and I was like, hey, I said, and then I apologized to her because, her order took really, really long. It really did. There was like a school bus of kids at that Slurpee place. So, and we had a good conversation. And I remember just getting in my car and thinking like, see, was that so hard, Chris? Was that so hard? You didn't ruin her day. You didn't ruin your day. And who cares? Like, this word submission, right? Which is like the opposite of pride and self-will, is, why is it so hard for me sometimes? So I did get like a little gut feeling for a little bit, but then I realized, okay, maybe you have to have a new live because you did it, just like effortlessly. And I did, and it surprised me afterwards, because just 30 minutes before I was like, oh man, this lady's gonna want me to do this and do that. But you know what? This job or that job, it doesn't matter, really. It to me, I feel a certain way when I think about how willing I am in this area of my life and how unwilling I am in this area of my life, and how in this area of my life it's a lot easier to be willing, I'm thriving on this area, but on this area it's a lot harder to be willing, and it causes me problems, right? Causes me problems in personal relationships, especially. So the key, according to this, is willingness, right? So if they give you the door scenario, right? If you walk up to a door and you put the key in, that's willingness, and then willingness, even more willingness, will open the door, right? And then I can open it as much as I want with willingness, but as soon as I say no, I shut it down. I slam it shut sometimes with my nose, right? Or with my unwillingness, with my pride, with my ego, with my self-centeredness and selfishness, two different things. But, with all those things that are still within me, I shut it down. And as soon as I'm ready, I just be like, okay, I can do this different. I want to do this different. I'll open it a little bit more, and then more and more and more. And today was a really good example to me of how unwillingness it's just so unnecessary, man. So unnecessary in a lot of ways. I know I've been challenged by my pastor, especially lately. And she's like, if you only love the people that love you back, I mean, you really don't love a lot of people. You don't love everybody, And I think my willingness is a lot like that. Like, certain people can ask me to do something, and man, I'll be like, heck yeah, come on, let's go. And other people can ask me to do something, and I'll be like, absolutely not. I can't. I'm not. I refuse. And that causes me problems in both relationships, because then I get too dependent on one, and I could care less about the other. So neither of those are good scenarios, even though I think they're good, even though I'm feeling good about it. In the end, it just doesn't really work. So I've really here lately, even in the last year, I've been trying to just be the same all the time, right? For my character to show up the same all the time. Do people get me out of my character sometimes? Yep. Do I do better in other areas? Of course. But I want to do good in our areas, and I'm at the same time not being so hard on myself, right? Because I'm working on that too. It's like, okay, you got that gut feeling, you're unwilling to do stuff, something happened, and then you did it effortlessly without even thinking about it, and then you reflected on that, like, whoa, I just did that. Wow, that was awesome. It didn't hurt. It didn't suck, right? So, and she smiled, and she gave me a good tip, and I wasn't even expecting a good tip, because I just delivered 3 Slurpees, right? But I think my higher power, who I choose to call God, is like so good to me, even when I'm so ratchet, right? He like, and I'm not trying to be ratchet. I've really gotten, when I first came into the program, I mean, I was like my way or the highway. I know everything. You tell me what to do. I would drive people they would question their own truth. Man, I had a lot of narcissistic characteristics, and slowly but surely, a ton of those are going away. I mean, I hardly recognize them now if I'm doing them. I don't do things on purpose. Do I get upset? Yeah. Do I struggle to what am I gonna do when I'm upset? Yeah, I still do, because it doesn't happen very often, and when I do, it's just by then it's like totally out of control, right? So I feel like in this journey, I have been challenged, I guess, motivated, pumped, encouraged to be different, to be like this badass kid, this badass person, this badass Chris who wants to be a badass and not perfect. God, that revelation about not wanting to be perfect and being okay with it totally just changed me these past couple of days. And man, I don't want to be perfect. I just don't. I used to want to be perfect because of how people would be like, man, you're freaking awesome. Like, you're kicking ass. Like, oh my God, whoa. Like, we need 2 or 3 of you. And I joke at work because now there's 3 Chris's. And I said, oh, y'all need 3 of me. Here you go. It's such a joke, but I know that underneath all the hard work, all the creativity that I bring to the job, all the experience, all the knowledge, right? Because I do have knowledge. I don't use it all the time, but I do have knowledge in my brain. And all that I bring to relationships or workplaces and all that, it's great. But man, I'm so scared for people to see the other part of me, the Chris that can sometimes get moody, can sometimes get sad, can sometimes be wrong, can sometimes doesn't know what he's doing. I don't like for people to see that person. And that's the person that I am trying to bring out right now, that I'm so in love with. That Chris who doesn't know everything. That Chris who gets sad sometimes. That Chris who sometimes doesn't care how other people feel. I mean, I have that in me, and I'm loving him right now. I'm embracing him. Like, yes, like I love you too. Not just the Chris who goes to work and runs around circles in certain areas. I love that Chris too, but I love this Chris just as much. This tender Chris, the Chris that not a lot of people get to see. And what happens, because a lot of people don't get to see, is when they see Chris be upset, when they see Chris not knowing what he's doing, I mean, they come down on me, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm very addicted to praise, but I realized that I had to be that for myself first, because it's nobody's responsibility to be that person to me. Do I have people in my life who do it? I probably got about 1 or 2 who are just my ride or dies. They hang out with me, whether they get me or not. They can sit there quietly, or they can make a lot of noise, this music or that music, TV on, TV off. I have people in my life who are just that in tune to me, that we're just that in tune that it's very easy to hang out with. And then, that I think like everybody does, has those people and has, a spectrum of people, right? A variety, a ton of different kinds of people. So I don't feel very unique in this area, but I know that at this moment I am on a personal journey to embrace every single part of Chris enough to let him come out and play with the other part of Chris and coexist with other people. Man, it's just, oh God, it's so wonderful. But I wasn't like that 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, you wouldn't have told me that I would be sharing with you what I'm sharing with you right now. There's no way. I would have been probably still stuck or in my head about something, or unwilling, or full of pride, or only thinking about me and what I didn't get and what didn't happen. all the stuff that was not me. I mean, I'm that guy. I go there. Sometimes I go there more than I want to go there, but it does happen. I go there. You know, this allowing that God's will be manifested in my life. You know, when I choose to do that, I have realized that God's will has been in my life. I can honestly say that it has been amazing. It didn't always feel amazing, you know, when I get the no or the maybe or not right now, or it's not always amazing. It doesn't always feel good. But in the end, I think like, wow. I'm blessed. Like, I'm really, really blessed. And I really do believe that God's good to me and that I'm one of his favorites. And I'm not saying you're not, I'm just saying that I am. So if you're out there and you're thinking, maybe that you're not ready to be willing. You're not, yeah, you did the first step and the second step, and now we're talking about the third step, and now you're doing it, but you're doing it grudgingly. You're not happy about your service work commitment. Maybe you're just in a rough spot. Just, if I could suggest anything, I would say just don't drink. Just don't pick up. Just don't mad text. Just don't stalk people. Just don't cause chaos. Just be still. Watch a funny movie. Read a good book. Just be still. Just don't do nothing. And if you're uncertain, if you're confused, if you're discouraged, just don't do nothing. Just don't do nothing. And as soon as you get that little window, as soon as that little gap shows up, as soon as that door opens just slightly enough, where you could be like, or you say, oh my God, let me call so-and-so. Call that person. We say, oh my God, oh man, I forgot they're having a show tonight. Go to the show. Oh my God, you know, I want to Google, I'm curious. I want to Google about dinosaurs or whatever. Google it. Because that window, that slight little crack right there, that's the one that if you just go there just a little bit, that's what opens, you let yourself in there and you open it more and more and more. And before you know it, you've already binge watched a new show who's totally changing your life. You know more about how to open a food truck than you did before you Googled it. You feel safer knowing that whoever you thought about to call is doing great. It was nice conversation. You missed that person. The show was fantastic. You met somebody who totally changed the trajectory of your life. I mean, those are the little things that as soon as they get in, go for it. Go for it. Just do it. Just do it. That's what's worked for me lately. And it's worked really, really well. You know, folks, I share with you a lot of stuff that I think I know, but also a lot of stuff that I'm learning as I go in this life. That I feel so great today that I wasn't stressed about how much money I was gonna make, that I wasn't stressed about what people were gonna say about me, that I could have open and honest conversations with people of the opposite sex, or, you know, women or men, or just people that I couldn't have before, that I can send a text and not feel bad or dirty for it. That I could you know, that I could just be me without limits, without overthinking stuff, right? Because it's okay to care. It's okay to wonder. It's good to use discretion. All that's fabulous. But when I'm overthinking stuff, I've lost it. The window, that little gap, it's gone. We're closed now. So sometimes I gotta roll with it, not overthinking, using discretion, apologizing if I hurt people. Everybody's going through something right now. I may be in a really good mood and then and come across somebody who's not feeling good. And, being mindful of that, right? Being mindful of that person and being honest. Do I want to spend time with them? Do I don't want to spend time with them? If I'm spending time, how can I spend time with them? How can I show them love when they're going through a tough time? How can I support them when they're getting raises and promotions and doing really great? How can I be there for them in a way that I'm going to add and not subtract to their life? I love to add to people's life. Do I subtract from it? Sometimes. But I love to add. So folks, I'm really grateful. I hope you got something, probably way off topic, but I just felt like I really wanted to get on here with you. I have a task that I'm trying to stay focused on. So I need to get back to it, but I really felt just wanted to come on here and just share some experience, strength, and hope with you, to encourage you today if you're feeling like sad or down or upside down. Man, just know that there's so many things you can do, man. Pick up that guitar you haven't played for a while. Turn on some good music. Hey, call your mom or your dad or your uncle, your aunt or your brother or your sister. I don't know. There's a million things that you can do to help you get through a tough time if that's what you're going through, right? Maybe it'll help them on the other side if you call somebody. I could go on forever talking about all this God stuff, all this God consciousness, all this. Wanted to be like a fucking badass person. I could go hours and hours talking about it because that's the journey that I'm on. I've been on it for quite some time now, and I've been realizing even here lately that something's happening. And I feel it. I really feel the strong sense of like something has happened to me. And I was thinking about earlier, and at the risk of sounding like I'm a cuckoo, last week, right, I was really sick, like sick enough to be, and usually I don't really call out from work unless something really big is going on. And so I was feeling like so sick, and I called my boss and I was like, look, I can't go to work. I'm so sick. She's like, what? No, I cannot have a call and you gotta go to work. I was like, I cannot go to work. You're gonna go to work. You're gonna go to work, Chris. Get up, get ready, go to work. You're gonna go to work. I cannot have a call in. This is gonna be a call in if you call in and I cannot have a call in. I'm like, I am sick. I was like, look, I'm gonna get ready and I'm gonna go. But I want you to know ahead of time, what I have to give is about 60, maybe 80 at the most. I don't have anything more than that. I don't feel good. And she said, give me 85 and I'll be happy. I said, okay. So I get ready and I go to work and I give her my 85%, right? All that I have, it's my 100, but it looks like what would be 85% of me on a regular day. And I gave her my 100%, and I did okay. I didn't break any records. I didn't woo anybody off. I didn't, I'm not getting an award or nothing. I did a decent job, and it felt good. But on my way back from there, and I'm saying this because I was so sick that I might have had a slight dehydration right there at that point, because it was a stomach virus, so I didn't eat and I didn't drink hardly anything that day. I drank water because people were concerned for me. They were like, "Are you okay? You need to drink water." So they'd bring me water, and so I was okay, right? But on the way home, I'm driving home, and I live on the west side of Austin, like deep west towards Dripping, Dripping Springs. So those of you who know, the sun rises on the east, sets on the west. So I'm driving down 290, which is a straight shot west. I'm driving towards my home, which is a straight shot west. I'm not quite on 290 yet, and I remember going down this road. Right, I was at the I was gonna go up to the light, and it's just a small little. It's a small little, just a little bit right of an elevation. Not a lot, not anything that you would notice on any other day, but for some reason, as soon as I went up, the sun just hit me right in my eyes, and I felt my eyes burn. I mean, like, even telling you the story, I feel them burning right now. It's like, burn. I felt like somebody had just got a lighter and went, whoo, charred my eyes, and I was like, whoa. And I've never been the same since then. So if I needed to lose a brain cell to make me a better person, I guess it worked out, right? But I was thinking about that today. I said, man, ever since that day, you've been really different. I kind of like this. I kind of like this different. I kind of like your quirkiness. I kind of like your little, whatever it is that is. I'm really, really excited to be where I am. And folks, maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you've been through there. Maybe you know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't care what I'm saying. Maybe you're just on here because you already watched everything else on YouTube, and I'm the last video in the world to watch. Before you stop watching, I just want to encourage you. You might be bored today. You might be without fun things to happen. Maybe you're single and you can't stand it. Maybe you have a wife and you want to get divorced. Whatever it is that you're going through, I just know that if you don't drink or drug today, like, you really stand a chance. I really, it took me a while to learn that, but the longer I stayed here, the longer I stayed in, the longer I kept reading, the longer I kept staying busy, the longer I kept, getting those windows of opportunity and making the most out of them, the better my life got, inside and out. And right now it's more inside, but I'm okay with that. It's a lot of inside work right now, and I'm really grateful that even though this program feels so strange and so uncomfortable and so different, it doesn't really ask much of me. As a matter of fact, it says, oh yeah, put in the key, open the door slightly. It doesn't even say slam it wide open. It just says open it slightly, because that's all we have is slightly. When we get here, we don't have a lot to give. We don't even have this key, but man, we're done, right? When I got here, man, I was done. I had this key. This willingness is like, man, is it? And every day I would just stick it in there, and just it was hard to turn some days and open that door so slightly, and that's all I had. But I realized that it was enough for that time. And then I get to open it and close it as many times as I want. I will never graduate this program. Am I going to get better? Yes. Am I getting better? Yes. Am I learning different things? Yes. Will I ever graduate? No. And that's okay. For me, that's okay. It wasn't always okay, but today I've learned enough to be like, you know what? Call it whatever you want. This program changed my life. It's more than a routine for me today. It's a way of living. And I'm very grateful for that. Because before I came to Alcoholics Anonymous, I didn't know what to do about anything. I didn't even hardly know how to brush my teeth or take a shower or wash clothes. Was I doing it? Yeah, but I wasn't doing it great. Now I can. It's so much different now. Life's good. It wasn't always this good, folks. but it's good today. And I'm really grateful that I get to share it with you. And I'm grateful that you hang out with me. 30 minutes of your time. I don't take it lightly. I take it very, not obsessively serious, but serious enough because I care about you. I care about your time. And I know that to be on 30 minutes listening to me, it means something to me because you could be listening to anybody else. And I want to just encourage you, if this is not working for you, then you need to find somebody else, because I needed to. I couldn't just hang out with people who weren't feeding me. I had to go find those teachers, preachers, YouTube videos, books, music, people in general. I had to seek out for the best of me. And I hope that you will do that. But if you decide to come back tomorrow, then I'll gratefully be grateful to you and to the rest of the world for giving me this opportunity to be able to share with you what my experience has been in and out of recovery. May I share with my strength, which is in this program, and my hope, which is in sharing the message with you. I could talk for another 30 minutes, but I'm not. I love you, folks. Thank you for hanging in there. We'll see you soon. Bye.